Hello there and welcome back to War Thunder. Today I want to have some first impressions on the T-62M-1, which will be the first high tier tank that I'll cover in the patch of 1.79. So I think the video will be split in two parts. The first one is of course me talking a little bit in the hangar, showing off some raw stats and talking about the tank. But before I do that, I want to talk about the way that I came to play the tank. So first of all, in patch 1.79 I thought to myself, yeah, not play high tier at the beginning. Certain tanks will probably get spammed out, the matchmaker will go nuts, and you have a very bad experience. Your subscribers are already complaining that you're always so negative and, you know, such a crybaby and whatnot. And I thought to myself, you know, let's find the fun in the game again. And Gaijin gave me a lot of stuff that I could research, a lot of stuff that I could look forward. Let's go through it. Some low tier tanks, some changes at lower tiers, new modules to research, new planes, the high explosive buff of air target belts for aircraft. There was so much more to discover. New maps, new this, new that, and then ships came out. And you might have been aware of this if you looked at my channel, how ships are doing, you know, and they're really great, and I had so much fun. So then I looked into my comment section, and people were already throughout the videos asking, when can we expect the next tank video? When can we expect this tank and that tank? A review, first impressions, general gameplay. Just basically show us some high tier tanks. And I was like, yeah, I'm kind of low on golden eagles. And then I asked Gaijin, hey, can you guys give me some high tier tanks to make some videos about? And they said, sure, here, have the T-62M-1 and also the Type 90 for a 30 days test drive. And so, you know, I'm down to 29 days, so that means I've driven the tank yesterday and today. And it's fully upgraded, and you know, I have a good lineup in theory. I have in theory also all the aircraft that I need. I have practically everything to enjoy it, right? And this is where we come about the negative. I was so delusionized in the first few matches that I played because the meta is absolutely broken. And you know, whatever you might say about Gaijin game mechanics and this and that, I think it is also the players. It's a mixture of Gaijin not seemingly giving a damn how the tanks play, just, you know, creating them, put them in the game, and people will pay for it, and then it doesn't really matter what the matchmaker is up for. But honestly, a lot of the issues have not to do with the tank itself, which is a okayish tank, but really with the meta around it. I mean, it is all nations versus all nations, 8 versus 8 on huge maps, and it is such a camp fest. After the first 30 seconds where just half of the one team bashed its head against the half of the other team, and then, you know, half the players are out, and then the match is already decided. And either the game is you know, the match is gone after the first 3 minutes, I'm not kidding, or it lasts 15 minutes because some dude is the last player on the enemy team and he's running away. And that is so boring, that is so annoying. And then mixture this with the constant up tier into 9.7 games. Nothing but up tiers. I think there were just 1 or 2 games where I didn't experience a full up tier. So it's high tier Call of Duty all over again. I hoped for some changes, but it's like the people enjoy this and I'm not one of them. I'm sorry, I will cover the tanks, but my excitement is already gone. Sorry about this. So now let's talk about the tank in a little bit more detail. Well, it looks cool. It looks like a T-62 merged somehow with a T-64A, and it really looks cool, but the armor means actually absolutely nothing. I mean, look at this. We have at the base of it still your usual T-62 steel cast homogeneous and rolled homogeneous steel armor with a bit of rolled homogeneous spaced armor and rubber fabric screens, some aluminum side skirts, some additional spaced armor here, and even the X-ray reveals that there is some sort of composite armor, but it doesn't help you at all in any way, shape or form. It really doesn't. and you really feel it. And then your speed is also not the best. I mean, you're not slow by any means, but 690 horsepower for 42 tons, while, you know, certain other tanks are looking nearly at double the horsepower to ton ratio, and you're constantly up-tiered in the first place. But it's not that drastic, because at least your ammunition is not that bad. The stock ammunition already has 420 millimeters of raw penetration power. So at your battle rating, you're a fine tank. What absolutely ruins you is the compressed high tier meta that completely sucks you in all the time. And tier 4 upgrade, 450 millimeters of penetration. Those shells might not have the best normalization, but I never had any problems penetrating any other tank. The heat shell and also the ATGM are not that useful in my books, but you know, that high explosive shell with 43 millimeters of penetration might be good for a bit of trolling. You have some smoke launchers, you have the ESS smoke generating from the engine, the side skirts you have to research. What about the reload? Well, this is now a bit tricky, because your weapon reload at best is 9.2 seconds. For me it's 9.75 for a very good expert crew. And yeah, you know, certain other tanks have nearly half the reload. So you are constantly outclassed. Your armor means nothing, your mobility is not the best, and your gun has a rather long reload. But at least the ammunition is good, and the stock grind is doable when it comes to dealing with enemies. But that means actually getting a shot off, and that is pretty tricky. The first match actually perfectly describes what's going on. It's an up tier, there is an absolute chaos in the spawning zone, people are ramming each other, you have quite a damn hard time to get out of here and to get into a flanking position. And as you can see, there are already a lot of tanks from all nations in our team, and I tried to go to the flank. I don't want to risk a head-on fight. My armor is not good enough, my reload is not good enough, I have a rather slow turret rotation speed, and I just want to get some kills, you know, see what the tank is capable of doing. So you can see what's going on in the first minute or so. The team is already rushing forwards in this city map for high tier gameplay, and as funny as it sounds, but that is actually the best match that you can get for grinding, for having quick games. But the games are too quick, and when they are long, it's just because somebody is running. And there you could see it. It's America, Germany, Russia, and some other nations versus itself in the other team. Is this arcade? Honestly, this is not what I want to play realistic battles for. If I want this, I play arcade. I'm honest with you, I'd play arcade, and then I don't have any sort of problem with it. But for realistic, it's a bit about the immersion, it's a bit about having some realism. And you know, fighting your own tanks, that's just not what it's supposed to be. So here the gameplay is not the most exciting one, and I just want to show you a very comical conjunction of scenes. First of all, what is this tank doing? He's going aggressively in, and he gets punished for it after his first shot, I guess. So my artillery strike is actually hitting stuff, and I get some points for it. I try to see if there is anybody, then I receive a shot from the side that there's no damage, and that was a lot of luck, and I blow up a T-64A. And a few moments later I receive a shot and I get blown up by a T-64B. Yep, that's realistic for you. So the one gameplay which was the most successful so far is played here on a snow map, and I stay in the back myself. I do not really go out in the first few minutes, and I just want to harvest the people that go in to capture the point themselves. And I want to use here the long range capabilities of the gun. The mass velocity of the shells is great, the zoom is really great, and I think you have a very good tank for long-range engagements, as long as you don't get hit in return. So, one of our ZSUs is rushing forward, firing the guns over the back to just get all the speed out of his tank that he can get. I myself, I'm going a bit through the woods and just want to see where it's going. Yeah, by the way, that was an up tier. And I'm just very careful here to stay here at the edge of the forest to give myself a potential retreating option. You have actually two sources of smoke, and I will use them both just in a moment to get kills actively. What I think is just much more exciting and much more fun. And all my criticism, again, is not that there is something wrong with the tank itself is okayish, but it's just not fun playing it. It's like, you know, ramming such a tree and then getting this lag is absolutely disgusting. I'm sorry, but that is just absolutely horrible, and again, sucks out so much fun. It's so frustrating to deal with it, and you have to avoid this and that. In a 40-ton tank, you have to avoid a little stick of wood. Yeah, so much for Gaijin's advanced physics. I'm honest with you, that's exhausting to do all day long. That's really annoying. Or if you go through a city, through all the rubble and stuff that is just annoying, put there to annoy the living hell out of you, especially in a stock tank. But I digress. Stop ranting. Yeah, I get it. So let's enjoy this high tier Call of Duty, and we have a customer, a leopard. It's called leopard. It's not lepra, my friend. It's not. Yeah, well, they fall apart that quickly that you might think it's lepra. Okay, that was a bad joke. So here I decide to launch the smoke, and to give him the feeling that I retreat, a shell whizzed by. I don't know where it came from, and I flank around going actively into the smoke, and he is completely oblivious, and I one-shot him, and that was really nice. On artillery strike, my artillery strike is actually giving me cover. Something bounced off the back, and now I'm pressing the ESS button, and I just changed direction, and just like that a shell whizzed by in the direction that I was going. That was close. And again, I'm wiggling my tank, trying to get out of there, and just trying to get away from this one engagement, because already there is somebody in the back sniping hardcore. And then we have a long waiting time. So first of all, what's going on? The capture point B, which is the closest nearby, is captured by the enemy, and I have no idea where the enemy is. If the enemy is still in there, I can absolutely see nothing. But I have the beautiful high ground, and I want to use my lightsaber. I mean my gun. I mean the muzzle velocity is really great. You might think you are just firing a laser. But jokes aside, yeah, I'm waiting here, observing the horizon, using my binoculars, and just my spider senses are tingling a little bit. Something is wrong. There are definitely enemy tanks. This is actually one of those matches where there were more enemy tanks, or there were more tanks on both sides, sorry about this, and that was to a certain degree much more enjoyable. But as you can see, the map is so large, yet you just can't fight at rather short distances, except if you go into certain sniper spots. So the smoke is still there, and I just don't feel really comfortable going into the open. Observe for something, and did I just see movement? What is that? There it is. Okay, going into the gun. Look at that zoom. There he goes. Easy, beautiful. Now that guy, I kind of feel sorry for him, but I knew something was there. I still got it. And you know, and when there's just half the team list full, and this is one rather of the bigger matches in terms of players on both sides, you kind of get the feel where the problem is. You have these beautiful big maps, but no players to play with or against. And the second you go forwards, you get punished for it, and this is something that I despise. And yeah, my team members are pinging the map, but I don't see anything. I'm looking around, observing certain points of the horizon. By the way, my camera angles seem a bit weird when it comes to how I look in third-person view. This is because if you look down, you get a better camera angle for the top horizon section, so you might just spot that enemy pixel somewhere going through the woods that you don't do when you just look straight into that direction. That's a bit weird, but you know, it's something that I do by default. I don't really think about it. If you have ever wondered why I have this kind of weird camera angles, or where I just seem to look into the ground, I have a big screen. Nothing extremely spectacular, but you know, 28 inches I guess. Then you still have a big area to look at, and in 4K resolution the game is a blast to play with. And that is another problem. So many people seem to use ULQ where they shoot through an entire forest, where I just think I should have been covered by bushes, where I also sometimes see that in replays. That's just not really fun to play against, you know. And then you can come at me with learn to play, get good and what, but it's just not fun. And if it takes so much longer for me to learn it, well then I guess I'm the wrong guy to cover high tiers. I'm honest with you, this was really not nice to play. You can see I'm not doing anything actively, I'm just camping. Because the second you stop camping and try to actively go for the enemy, you get punished for it. And then RE-251 actually gets our Object Nano 6 with an artillery strike. That was unfortunate. I'm still think that there is another tank coming from the enemy's spawn direction. And then again the map gets pinged, but I cannot really look there. Now if then I would leave this camping position, then I'd have another problem, because then I couldn't support my team from here. So I have a tactical problem, I have a situational problem, I have a gameplay problem, I have a meta problem. And all that combined is just not fun. Now, if you have fun with it, then I hope you enjoy it, and I hope that all the grinding is worth it. For me personally, I just look at the tank and think to myself, beautiful model. Like, I mean, the gun barrel looks like it's designed with 1990s graphics. Honestly, Gaijin, please. I mean, if you have a close look at it, especially when you play the tank, it's just... it's not really pretty to look at. So, again, there is nothing to shoot at. And I'm waiting and I'm waiting. You can hear it from my commentary. I'm not really excited. And just 1 kill so far, 2 kills so far, that's not really exciting, is it? Then I saw a plane, but nobody seems to read the chat. Just a few seconds later, the Arado has bombed a T-64A. Great stuff. So, then there is still some action going on. A tank that is near B is pinging right in front of him, so I actually need to support him. And then already the spawn camping is going on, even on this huge map, but hey, it's, you know, natural tactic. Then I see here the German SPA, the Gepard, and he seems to stand still, but I didn't one-shot him, so a second shot will do. Yep, a little bit of a lag, and there we actually get the third kill. Now B got decaptured, and that is now equalizing the capture zones. And now I'm making the mistake. What do you mean? Well, I'm aggressively going in. And this is something that you get punished for at high tiers. Because people are vulturing around in their aircraft, people are just looking around for stuff that goes into the capture zone. You can see me doing here. The way that the enemy did it, that it forced me to do it, was to do the same, and that's just not fun. And if you go straight forward, you have to fight with all the problems. Again, it sounds very, very negative, and for those who really don't like this negative commentary, maybe you should play high tier yourself and just feel how it's going. and then I was even too slow to prevent the enemy from capturing B. And now I get strafed by the Arado. Gladly he doesn't seem to have bombs, otherwise I'd be toast. And now I want to go in. So that is already a bad situation. What do you do now? The enemy knows already that you're there. The best thing that can happen is that I still have time to capture the point. And that I get the first shot off. And then this happens. So I'm already capturing it. I'm observing the surrounding and I see the Leopard. I fire at him and I actually penetrate him, but he seems to have lost no crew and my gun breach is down. There is nothing that I can do and no team member is there around to help me. I'm doomed anyways. He just could fire straight through my front. Maybe he thinks I'm a T-62A, but no, I wasn't. So I'm really sorry for the people that expected a glorious hooray, this is the best thing ever when I talk about high tier tanks, but the issues are absolutely stunning and that is just not what I really wanted to experience again and again and again, over and over again. So yeah, that's it for me today. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening. Please give the video a like if you did, subscribe if you want to see more. Let me know what you think about high tier gameplay and the meta, if you don't see any problems at all, or if I just see the negative sides without seeing the good stuff. Let me know, I'm interested in it. And yeah, again, that's it for me today. So we'll see each other in the skies and on the battlefields and on the waves of War Thunder.